Hello, Eagle fans. Jonathan Duran here inside the NCCU Sports Network studios. Welcome to another edition of the Eagles Weekend Kickoff Show. North Carolina Central coming off of an emphatic win over Norfolk State over the past weekend, 48-14. And we're speeding through the introduction here. We don't have time for that because we are here with head coach Trei Oliver. Coach, the Eagles have put another boat on the water. Congratulations on the championship.
Man, thank you so much, man. I thought our guys played well Saturday.
And talking about them playing well, I mean, coach, they really had to go through it to play well. I mean, you're talking about not being sure who was going to be available and who was going to be able to play, who was the least sick, fighting off the flu. Coach, I mean, championship caliber mentality from the guys being able to go out and be able to play that game.
Yeah, man, I think that was a little bit of the remnants from hanging out in the bowl after homecoming. But, yeah, we did have quite a few guys that were dealing with the flu and strep throat, and a lot of guys were under the weather. So, we were trying to piece that thing together before the game, and you could just see that the guys were didn't look well. So, but we came out. I thought they were resilient and fought through it, and we played well in all three phases. Well enough to win that football game.
And coach, you always make a point about playing for 60 minutes, and the first 15 minutes don't define a football game. The Eagles went trailing out of the first quarter 7-0, and you responded with 28 in the second quarter. Coach, what'd you tell the team in between those 15-minute spans?
I didn't really have to say anything to them. I saw that we were sluggish coming out in pregame, and I was hoping that we could get into a rhythm. And once we got into the rhythm, the game started coming to us. So, we didn't really have to start pressing and doing anything out of character. Just do what we do. And I think once we kind of weathered that initial storm, the guys settled down and caught their second win and then went to work.
And coach, talking about going to work, we were back here with Eagle women's basketball on Saturday, but halftime we're able to put the game up on the video board in the arena. Got to see Jamari Taylor. That was a heck of a run getting into the end zone, and Mookie Collier as well.
Oh yeah, and I think that's a two-headed, really a three-headed monster with those two and Chris Mosley back there. But they complement each other well. Both of them are great teammates and don't complain about carries or touches. But we have three home runners hitters back there, and you kind of pick your poison.
And coach, you look back over the MEAC schedule since we're done with that now. The next game is a non-conference game with Tennessee Tech. Coach, what have you seen from this team? How have they evolved and changed and improved from that first opening game against Morgan State to the low against South Carolina State to the emphatic, the come from behind win at Dell State to coming up to where they are now?
Well, that's a brutal stretch when you're in MEAC play. That's it's a physical conference and there's so much parity, guys. There's not much of a difference between the top team and the worst team in the conference. So, you got to kind of play every week, and you can't take anybody for granted. And I thought all year our guys, and it starts with our coaching staff. I can't say enough about our coaches because I don't call any plays and I don't do much coaching. So I take my hat off to all my staff, getting these guys prepared and focused every week. And then the young men just being locked in and keeping all the outside distractions away from them at bay and focusing on their task at hand. But I thought we've improved all throughout the season. And it's just good to see that. And hopefully we can keep it up in the next two games.
Jonathan Duran with Eagles football head coach Trei Oliver. Coach, MEAC play done. Now North Carolina Central, last game of the season. It's Tennessee Tech, the Golden Eagles. Saw them last year. They came here to Durham and coached the team that really went through a tough stretch in the middle of the season. And you look at them now, they've won, 3 in a row as they get ready for this game. So, Coach, what have you seen from them?
They have a great offensive scheme. They do a lot of shifting and motioning, and every play somebody's going to be doing something. So our guys have to do a great job of communicating. They do a great job of getting lined up defensively and making sure we're sound in our run fits and stopping the run. I think they average about 175 yards a game rushing. So there's going to be another physical contest. And then defensively, they don't do a lot, but they play fast and they don't make mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves. And I think they're very good in the kicking game. So this is going to be a challenge for us, on the road and in a hostile environment. But I'm excited about it. And this is one of those games that we must win. We got to get recognition outside of our conference and beat up on some teams outside of the MEAC. so to me, I can get, a little more recognition nationally.
All right, Coach, I'll have a few more questions for you after this one, but Coach, what are the overall keys for North Carolina Central to be successful against Tennessee Tech?
It's always the same, man. We got to protect the football. The games that we protected the football, people have problems stopping us. We got to win the kicking game, and that'll help set up scores and put points up on the board. And then lastly, we got to stop the run. We can't let these folks run the football on us. And if we can stop the run and make them one-dimensional, they're going to have a really tough time beating us.
Coach, you look back over the season, just as we wrap it up, of course, still with one more game to play. I mean, what can you say about this team and how they've performed, including the non-conference games?
Man, I love my guys, man. And then first and foremost, and then to see how they performed against like the top teams. We beat the top team in the Big South of North Carolina A&T. We beat the top team in the CAA in New Hampshire, top 25 team. At the time we played them, Howard was a top team in the MEAC. So, I guess, we've been giant killers. We've been knocking off the top dogs in every conference, man. And I think the beautiful thing behind all of this is, our guys are still young. We only have about a handful of seniors on this football team. And so the sky is the limit. So I would say if they're going to get us, they need to get us this year. But I think we didn't got all of them just about. So it doesn't look good for the MEAC in the future years, man, because this thing's just getting started.
All right, Coach, I'm looking forward to seeing this team continue to take off. And Coach, lastly, what is it that you'd like to say to the Eagle fans?
First of all, I thank you guys so much for your support. Me and my family, our football team and our staff, you all have shown up and shown out in the games, both at home and on the road. And we ask you all to continue supporting us. We'll see you guys in Atlanta. I know the Eagles are going to be flying to the A, and we're going to pack out the house to whoever we see from the SWAC. But it's been a great season. This championship was for everybody in Eagle Nation, and we look to see you guys at the next football game.
All right, Coach. As always, thank you for your time. Congratulations, and still got one more.
That's it. One more, man. Just one.
That's Eagle football head coach Trei Oliver. Now let's go to our keys to the game. Let's start on the defensive side. Only 14 points allowed against Norfolk State. They allowed the first touchdown of the game, and then after that, shut it down for the remainder of the contest, allowed the Eagles to build up that big 28-7 lead right before halftime. And after that, the Eagles were lifting the trophy. So let's take a moment now and hear from defensive coordinator Courtney Coard.
Coach, North Carolina Central, they go out, they take care of business, and they are the 2022 MEAC champions. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I appreciate it. A huge win for the program, huge win for the players who went out there and laid it on the line each and every week. Huge win for Coach Oliver and the staff, man. It feels good. Thank you.
And really, I mean, you go out there and you know what you have to do. You're going up against a Norfolk State team and just keeping this team focused into this game. I mean, what are you telling them when you were coming into this game?
Just like we've done all year. The thing with the defense is all we have to do is win one. And, we kind of preach that on a weekly basis, so that was our focus, just going out there and making sure we play our brand of football and not doing anything to beat ourselves and just making sure we flying around and playing hard for 60 minutes. And those guys went out there and got the job done.
And it definitely translated. I mean, you allow 14 points, the fewest that you have allowed against conference opponents this year. What was really the key for that for the Eagles?
Shoot, man, we kind of hurt ourselves really just giving up those 14, not doing a good job of communicating and not having our eyes in the right spot on the very first touchdown. But those guys just went out there and just played hard, really, just started rallying to the ball and not doing anything to beat ourselves. In the second half, we kind of just stopped all the blitzing because we was like, we don't need that. So we just played our base defense for the remainder of the game, and those guys just went out there and handled business. They were in their gaps. The disappointing part about it is we gave up 233 rushing yards on the ground. So I was disappointed in that because we pride ourselves on stopping the run. But we only gave up 90 in the air. But at the end of the day, we got the victory and we got the championship. So I'm definitely happy about that.
The long-time sports adage is defense wins championships, and this is a championship-winning defense. So, Coach, what's the key for this team to be able to reach this point, in your opinion?
Just be consistent. Consistent as coaches with our message and our teaching week in and week out. And one of the things that I share with the players and the staff is that a true sign of a champion is one who can repeat their performance day in and day out, week in and week out. And we have to do that. And winning is in the preparation. It starts on Sunday when we go out there for practice and prepare for the new week. So just being consistent with how we teach things and how we go about our daily habits, and then how we go about our practice habits as well. So just being consistent week in and week out.
Jonathan Duren with the Eagles defensive coordinator Courtney Coard. Well, next up for North Carolina Central is Tennessee Tech, a team that the Eagles saw last year. I guess this is finishing up the home and home. Tennessee Tech, you look at their schedule, they were down and out early on, and after all of that, they've won 3 in a row. So, Coach, what have you seen from the Golden Eagles?
Really, really good football team. Like you said, they're on a 3-game winning streak right now. So they're playing some of their best brand of football. And they have a really good offensive system, and they have some really good football players. They have a good stable of backs. They have a older quarterback who does well with making great decisions with the football in his hand. He makes the offense go, gets them in the right play at the line of scrimmage. And they have receivers that's willing to stick their face in the fan and block on the edge. So we got our work cut out for us to finish up the season. We definitely can't ride the wave of last week. Last week is over with. So we definitely have to do a good job preparing these guys to go in and handle business this week as well.
All right, Coach, this is the part where I ask you the keys, but I'm going to have a couple more questions after that. But first of all, Coach, what are the defensive keys for the Eagles to be successful against Tennessee Tech?
Well, we definitely have to do a good job of stopping the run, and we haven't been able to do that the last couple of weeks to my liking. The goal is to not allow 100 yards rushing, and we've given up, I think, out of the last 6 weeks, 5 100-yard rushing games. So very disappointing in that area. We have to do a good job of playing perimeter defense. They're trying to get the ball to the edge, and we have to set points. And we definitely have to do a good job of tackling that the backs can make you miss in open field. So we need 10 hats to the football in the backside corner, making sure he's taking a proper angle. And then once again, we just have to be consistent with our fundamentals and technique. So I think if we do those 3 things and we go out there and play hard and we play fast for 60 minutes or however long it takes, then we'll get the job done.
All right, Coach. Well, Jonathan Duren with the Eagles defensive coordinator Courtney Coard. Coach, we've come to the final regular season game, so this will be the final edition of the Eagles kickoff show before we head down to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl. So just a couple of season end questions for you, Coach. As you look back over this year, I mean, what can you say about this defense and where they've come from since that opening game, that win against North Carolina A&T, to where you are now getting ready for this final regular season game?
Well, we approached every week like it was a championship game, and I think these guys, they did a great job of not getting too high, not getting too low, and we the goal is to get better week in and week out, and I thought the guys did a good job of taking the coaching and getting better each and every single week. We still have a lot of work to get done, but for the most part, our guys, they put in the work, man. They practice hard, they play hard, and they bought into what I was trying to bring to the table. Just a tough, hard-nosed, physical defense. And I'm just thankful for the guys that I have a chance to go out there and go to battle with each and every day, for just laying it on the line each and every single week. But they got better, and they understand what it takes and how to be a champion and how to win. So I'm thankful and grateful for that.
All right, Coach. And lastly here, is there anything you'd like to say to the Eagle fans as we get ready for this final game?
We definitely appreciate your support, but we need you one more week. If you can make it out there in Tennessee, please come out and support. We're going to be behind enemy lines. So we definitely need all the love and the fans and support to be behind us this last week.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations on the championship, and we'll see you down the road.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
That's defensive coordinator Courtney Coard. Now let's go to the offensive side with O coordinator Matt Leone. Another big day for the Eagle offense. Everybody on the field getting involved, the backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends, and of course, Davius Richard of the offensive line. They've really been clicking together and seem to be getting better as the year goes on. So let's hear from offensive coordinator Matt Leone as he talks about the win against Norfolk State and what's next against Tennessee Tech.
Coach, North Carolina Central, another 40-plus point performance, 48-14 over Norfolk State, and that clinched a MEAC Championship. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you, Jonathan. Very proud of our young men in this program, the coaching staff, and it was a big accomplishment. And guys have worked very hard for this.
I know over the course of the years I've talked to you all, I've heard from Coach and from you and from Coach Coard about playing for 60 minutes and about starting fast. Well, didn't get off to the same fast start that we've seen all year long for North Carolina Central against Norfolk State. But you come back, you score 28 points in the second quarter. Coach, what was the shift like from there to that 28-point quarter?
We felt like we had a good game plan going into the game, and we just stuck with it. We missed on some opportunities in that first quarter that we felt like were some things schematically that we could take advantage of, and we just missed on some of those plays. So we just stayed with the game plan, and we knew that it would start clicking eventually, and it did in that second quarter.
And when it started, it was an avalanche. I mean, you score 4 touchdowns within 8 minutes of football. I mean, Coach, what was it like watching that team be able to operate at almost like machine-like efficiency?
It's a team effort, and special teams did a great job of giving us a short field and blocking a punt, and then the defense also did a nice job. They gave us a short field several times, which allowed us to get scores quickly as we did. So it's played great complementary football, and it was good to see the guys, really play together.
Another big day for the backfield, Jamari Taylor, Mookie Collier, and the receiving core, Davius Richard. Just Coach, all of these weapons that this offense has, and all of them been able to be used so effectively and efficiently. It's got to feel pretty good, I believe.
Yeah, it does. It really does. We feel like we've got multiple weapons, and we don't have to, target one guy. We've got multiple guys that we can get the ball to, and this offense can be explosive and efficient with a number of guys in the lineup and a number of guys touching the ball. So I was proud of Mookie Collier and Jamari Taylor. Both those guys had rushing touchdowns and receiving touchdowns, and then E.J. Hicks again. Explosive play, big touchdown. And then all those guys, they just continue to make plays when their numbers are called. And then up front, the guys played hard and gave, no sacks, which allowed Pee Wee to stay clean in the pocket. And we did have some guys get banged up, and we had some freshmen come in and play. Noah McKinley and Teron Williams and Seven Warren all stepped up in the second half and played well for us.
All right, Coach. Well, the Eagles finished up league play 4-1. Coach, going up against these MEAC defenses, what is it like prepping for these teams each week?
Every team's got its own flavor. Every team's got its own strength. So we just try to focus on more so us. We see what they're doing from a scheme standpoint, and then what's our best scheme or set of plays versus what they do. And our mindset is it's their job to stop us. So we want to do what we do and just make sure we're aware of what they like to do. So in certain situations that we can be alert for maybe different pressures or coverages or stunts that they like to do from a scheme standpoint.
Jonathan Duran with the Eagles offensive coordinator Matt Leone. Well, Coach, North Carolina Central getting ready for the final week of the regular season. It's Tennessee Tech, a team the Eagles saw last year. And now you're getting ready for a team that started the season a little bit of a downward trend, but won their last 3. So, Coach, what do you see from these Golden Eagles? Are you getting ready for this game?
I see them improving each week. Like you said, they didn't start off too hot, but they're on a 3-game winning streak. They play extremely hard. They're pretty simple from a schematic standpoint, but allows their players to play without thinking too much. And you see that on film that they play fast and they play extremely hard. So it's definitely going to be another challenge for us, another set of challenges, and we got to make sure our guys are ready to play.
All right, Coach. What are the overall keys for North Carolina Central to be successful against Tennessee Tech?
We want to start fast. I know that's been the common trend all year, but we didn't start as fast as we wanted to this last game, so we want to make sure we come out and we're hitting on all cylinders. We want to control the line of scrimmage and establish the running game. We feel like we play our best ball when we're able to do that, and then continue to protect the football and be great in situational offense.
All right, Coach. Just a few general season end questions, even though again we still have this one last game to play. But Coach, you look back to the start of the year and you have to think that there were a lot of really high expectations on this Eagle offense, and to look back and to say, at least in my opinion, to think that they have delivered on those expectations. Coach, what can you say about this offense and how they performed throughout this year?
I'm just very proud of the young men that we have in our program and the guys offensively. It all started with them buying in. They bought into me. They bought into this coaching staff, and that's really where it started. And then just their relentless work ethic that they put in from the off season, the early morning mat drills, the spring balls, over the summer. So they've deposited the work that is required to give yourself a chance. It doesn't guarantee success, but it gives yourself a chance to be successful. And then they work hard during the season. They're relentless in their preparation, and they love each other. They love being around each other. So that makes it easy for them to play together. And so it's just a really special group that's grown together. If you look at offensively, we've got just a handful of seniors. Most of our guys are made up of sophomores and juniors, and they've kind of been growing together. And just my time here, seeing that develop, and then I'd say the biggest thing is they improve weekly. They're always looking to get better. They don't have that satisfied mentality that we look at what we've done. It's what can we do next? And as long as they keep that mindset mentality, we're going to continue to get better.
All right, Coach. This team has definitely improved and gotten better, and looking forward to see what the next steps are for them. And Coach, as we wrap up here, just want to ask, is there anything you'd like to say to the Eagle fans?
We just appreciate your support. Homecoming, that atmosphere was unbelievable, and we really appreciate the support you continue to show our football team. And I know our players really thrive on the passion and the excitement that you show at the games, and we just continue to thank you for that. And we look forward to finishing the season strong, and we'll see you in Tennessee and then in Atlanta.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all your time this season. Good luck.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan.
That's offensive coordinator Matt Leone. Before him, you heard defensive coordinator Courtney Coard. And at the top of the program, head coach Trei Oliver. All right, let's take a look ahead to the weekend schedule. As the final MEAC games will be played this weekend, North Carolina Central is 4-1. They are the MEAC champions. Howard is 3-1. They can claim a share if they defeat Morgan State. They will finish 4-1 also, but the Eagles will, of course, have to head-to-head. And the Eagles will be the team going to the Celebration Bowl that is decided. Eagles 4-1, 8-2 overall. So Howard will be at Morgan State at noon. Norfolk State at South Carolina State at 1:30. Campbell at Delaware State at 2 o'clock. And for the second consecutive year, the Eagles will be the last team to shut the lights off for the Mideastern Athletic Conference. They kick off at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central Time at Tennessee Tech. All right, so let's look ahead to the weather. If you are going to Cookeville, Tennessee, on the other side of the mountains, Central Tennessee, you're going to need to bring some layers and a warm coat because it is going to be a high of 44 degrees with 10-mile-per-hour winds. And I'll tell you that living that, it's not great. You're going to be cold. So the game tomorrow is going to be pretty chilly here in the Triangle, high of 53. It's not going to be as windy here, but you probably want to bundle up just a little bit out here. Be a little bit warmer than you might expect, but a game tomorrow in Tennessee is going to be cold as the Eagles close up the year. And that just about wraps up our show here. I'm Jonathan Duran. Thank you always for joining us here for the Eagles Kickoff Show here in the NCCU Sports Network studios. This is our final show for the regular season. And with that said, I want to wish all of you from the NCCU Sports Network a very enjoyable holiday season. Hope that you enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday as well. May your food be perfectly seasoned and warm. Have a good weekend. And as always, go Eagles.